Hello friends, it's your local Speechy here today, and I'm actually so excited to bring you this video. I'm going to be making a vision board for my future, and I would love if you guys joined me. My friends have been making vision boards recently, and I thought it was a really fun way to get creative and to focus on future goals. It is also winter break currently, so I'm excited to make a video that does not have to deal with all my stress from graduate school. A vision board is essentially a collection of images that illustrate what you want for your life to become. So everybody's vision board is going to be extremely personal to them, and it's going to be very individualized. You are going to be able to choose what time frame you want your vision board to reflect. For me, I'm thinking maybe 10 to 15 years in the future. Some people might only do one for the next year or one for the next semester. Now, when I was researching vision boards, I saw that you shouldn't use text or any quotes, and then I also saw some sides saying that you can use quotes. So I feel like it's up to the person making the vision board, and I definitely have a lot of quotes that I found, and I personally always loved quotes. They always pulled me in, so I definitely am including quotes, but you don't have to. So my vision board is definitely going to focus on my personal life in the future, and also my career goals and my money goals. You can focus on whatever goals you'd like to, but that's what I'm going to focus on. So I went through a whole bunch of my old magazines that my family has collected over the years that we've just stopped reading, and I found some really cool photos. You can make your vision board however you want it. You can have white space in the background, you can organize it very specifically, or you can just kind of make a cool collage. And I was thinking more of the collage look. I do have two different sides, so I want one side to be career related and one side to be life related. And the piece of material that I'm using is literally from a notebook. They have like divider sections where they have folders, and I just kind of cut that up and it just unfolded like this, so that's what I'm using. Also, when I was researching, I heard that you shouldn't have a chaotic board because apparently that will invite chaos into your life, but I think your board should be however you want it, so if mine's slightly chaotic, I'm just gonna roll with it. So right before I put all my images on, I really wanted to color the background just in case there was any space. So I'm using these two colors, and I feel like it'll look like a little sunset. I'm just gonna color over that and maybe color the front. I also lit a candle that's for strength and energy because I want to send strength and I want to send energy into these goals when I make them. Okay, so I finished coloring the background and I'm gonna start taping all my pictures on. I'm taping, I really wanted to take this opportunity to sit down and talk about my first semester graduate school experience. And if you don't know me, I'm in the graduate school program for speech language pathology at Towson, and I am about to start my second semester. Okay, so the first question I have is, what was my least favorite class? My least favorite class had to be dysphagia, and I know my professor did his best. I loved him. He always tried to entertain us and keep us engaged when he could through online classes, but that class really felt like a chore to attend at times. I also always managed to zone out, and it was just not information that I felt drawn to. It just didn't feel interesting to me. And of course, dysphagia is important to our field, and of course I'm going to have to know it, but it's just not something that I personally want to focus on in my future. The next question is, what was my most favorite class? And that had to be language development for early childhood. I absolutely loved my professor, and the content was always interesting, and the information also seemed really important to me because I do really want to work with children, so I was very interested in learning that content and information. And like I said, dysphagia is very dry, it's very cutthroat and intense information, whereas language development does not feel like that. The next question I have is, which class did I learn the most in? And it was speech sound disorders, and if you don't know what that is, it's basically phonological disorders or articulation disorders, or like if a child can't really say sounds correctly. There were so many methods and ways that we could help anyone with phonological or articulation disorders that I was not aware of until this class, and it honestly made my mind blown. Like I was mind blown. That class also kind of freaked me out because I did not realize how much thought we had to actually put into our sessions. The class showed me how much effort speech pathologists actually put into their sessions and how much time they actually take to make sure that they're testing the right sounds or that they're picking out the right words to test on. And that also just, made my mind blown. Okay, so the next question I have was, what was the worst thing about my first semester? Worst thing for me would have to be the time management. There really was no balance between my classes and between my clients. It felt like everything was being thrown at me at once, and I wasn't able to figure out what days I should focus on my clients and what days I should focus on classes. It was just hard to really figure that out. A lot of times we would have paperwork due, but we would also have a test due as well, or a project. So it was really hard to figure out when I should be studying or when I should be, really focusing on paperwork. The next question is, what was the best thing about the first semester? And it had to be getting the hands-on experience and finally working with clients. Of course, some of the clients were through telehealth and through Zoom, but just simply getting that experience at all meant the world to me. It was so nice to be able to work with someone and actually understand the content I've been learning over these past years. And working with clients really showed me what I needed to work on for when I actually work with clients in the future. The next question is it as hard as people say it's going to be? And it's definitely going to be hard. There's no doubt about it. You need to put in work and you need to work on how you do things to make sure that you're getting through grad school and getting good grades. It definitely was off and on, as in some weeks I felt better and I felt like I could relax a little bit more, but there were also some weeks where it was very intense and I felt like I couldn't get a break and I probably was on the brink of a mental breakdown. The next question is, am I going to miss my clients that I worked with? And the answer is, of course. They were all a learning experience for me and they were all very nice. Families were extremely nice about, my situation of just now learning everything, and I might not have the answer to everything as well. So the families were very nice about that. The clients I had were extremely lovable and sweet. It just felt very rewarding to actually get to meet clients and, figure out what we can work on. Okay, so the very last question I have to answer is, what could I change for the next semester? It would definitely be to have more breaks added into my life and more time for simply me to relax and for me to have self-care days, because I was definitely overworked last semester and there were a lot of times where I was agitated or I was just, as I said, on the brink of a mental breakdown. And I just didn't give that time for myself to, sit down and do something that wasn't graduate school or that wasn't working. So next semester, I definitely want to focus on the balance between work and school and between play and relaxation. Okay, so since I just answered all the questions, I'm going to speed through taping in all of my other pictures. Okay guys, so I just finished and I'm so excited. This makes me so happy. I just showed my whole family to show them all my goals because this makes me so excited. Also, sorry, my camera quality over here is not as good as the one over here, but that's because I can't afford two different cameras that have good quality, so I'm relying on my laptop camera for now, so that's just gonna have to be the way things are going for right now. So I'm really excited to show you guys the final product just because I love making goals so much, and this kind of thing has just always been something that makes me happy. Like, I love planning my future. I did that when I was a kid. I just love to plan things. It made me so happy. So I'm excited to kind of explain some of the things that are not as straightforward as they seem. I mean, clearly over here, it's kind of easy to tell, like, these are happy couples. I want to be in a happy relationship. I want them to feel like my home. I want someone to feel like home to me, and also a dog because I love pets. That's very straightforward. Here we have a travel down here. I'd love to travel. I just want to see new places. I put down extraordinary because clearly I want an extraordinary life. Over here I have, you know, a strong body, healthy. I want to be able to cook for myself because I don't do that right now. I'm not a very good cook, and I really want to learn to do that and be excited for new healthy recipes. For here I have tea just because I want to drink tea. I want to relax with tea every day, and I want to live the good life. Okay, over here in this corner, I can't tell if you guys can see that well, but it's basically a library with some animals because first off, I love animals, but second off, I love books and I love libraries, and I would really hope that I have a place in my house that's just filled with books because that's my happy place. We have music because I love music, and I also couldn't find anything theater related, so this was close enough. I just love music, I love theater, I love going to see performances and shows, and that makes me really happy, so I have to include that in my life. So over here I have a tiger, and this one's a little bit more obscure, but a tiger's fierce, a tiger's strong, and a tiger's fast, and I want to be all those things. And also, a tiger is what my mascot is for Towson, which, as you know, I've been here for undergrad, for grad school, so I'd just like to be reminded in my future of where I've come from and who's helped me along the way. Over here is just an aesthetically pleasing picture that I really love. I love pink, I love the flowers. I would hope to have a house like that. I have a house down here. It's not my favorite house. It's the only house I could find, though, in my magazine, but I just put in a house to say that I want a happy house, I want a happy home. I just want something to come home to every day and feel comfortable. So over here is my career side, clearly, and there wasn't a lot of pictures that I could find that related to this side. So that's why over here is a little bit more background color, and over here is a little bit more collage. Here we have saving money. That's very, you know, straight to the point. Focusing on the science because that's my major. Speech pathology is very science related, you know, we're based on evidence, so I wanted to add that in, so that reminds me to always focus on the science and to make sure that I'm doing the right thing from evidence and research. Over here I have this quote that says, always there for her patients, which is very straightforward. I want to be there for my clients and for my patients, you know, wherever I end up, I want to be there for them. Okay, so over here is Ruby Bridges, and if you don't know her, she was the first Black girl student to go to a integrated school back in the 1960s. And I, first off, love this image because she's so powerful and she's been through so much, but you know, she's successful. She went through a whole bunch, but that didn't stop her. But I also love the fact that the child version of her is in the background, because the child of her in the background for me shows that her child self is looking at her and is proud of her, and I want that for my future. Here we have clarity. That's straightforward. I have a bird because birds fly wherever they want to, and I want to have the mindset that I can go wherever I want to go. For here, this is all very straight to the point. I have a picture of clothes because I want to look very professional, and I want to have professional clothes because that's always been fun to me. This one, I put a picture of these ladies drinking, and I put this in because I wanted to have friendly coworkers. I wanted to work with coworkers that were my friends, and I wanted us to have fun and do things that were not work related. I have what I know now down here, which I just love because in the future I'm going to know so much more than I do right now. And I also would love to keep up with my YouTube channel. I want to keep telling people what's going on in my journey and enlightening people on what happens in speech pathology. Here we have I was born for a purpose, and this is not religious or anything. I'm not really religious, but I just like knowing that I'm here for a reason, and I'm not just here based on luck. Everything else is kind of very straight to the point. I have my time to shine because I want to shine in my career. I want a healthy mind. I want to have a new chapter, and I want people to think of me as kind, as loving, and I want to always do my best. Hope you guys had a fun time watching this and seeing how I go about my vision board, and I hope maybe it inspired you to think about these things and get excited for your future as well. Now, if you guys ever make a vision board, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. I'd love to hear about what you thought about it and your experience making one as well. For now, that's all I have for you guys, and as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate the support and you guys subscribing to me and wanting to see my content. It makes me very happy and excited for my future journey on YouTube. So thank you so much for being here, and even if you just randomly stumbled upon this, thank you. It means a lot for you to choose my video and to watch my content because there's so much out there. So thank you so much. But for now, that's all I have, and I'll come back again once my second semester starts and I have more information for you guys. Okay, bye.